So I guess it's not really line maintenance anymore, but quick Zoom cleanup. But big waves out there. Happy Sunday, happy Sunday, happy Sunday. I love beginning my week, closing my week with all of you beautiful people. This is my favorite Zoom of the week because I get to do it and see it with you guys. So I always try to do a little icebreaker. And normally I want you to show me something, right? I'm like, show me your favorite, the favorite being in that your house or your favorite product or your favorite. Today I want you to type. So, warm up those fingers, and I'm hoping to make a little New Age Nation playlist. So I'm hoping that everybody can put in their chat either their favorite song or their favorite artist. It's hard sometimes to come up with a song. So if you have a favorite artist, go ahead and, or song, Garth Brooks, okay, Jay-Z, love it, love it, love it. So go ahead and put them. I got you, babe. That's cute, and that's a great one. Is that Cher? Okay, so you saw that I have a big old picture of Cher on my wall in my house. So if you haven't seen it yet, I'll show you. So love it, love it, love it. Bon Jovi, hey, somebody's in my generation. Lionel Richie, there we go. All right, well, thank you guys. I'm going to take a screenshot of this in just a moment and get all of them because I think it's so fun for us to get to know each other. One of the biggest perks of this industry, I think, is it's so personal, right? Where, I've been in sales, I've been in desk jobs, I've been in a variety of different things, and you don't get to know anyone like you do in network marketing because we become, if we're doing it right, we become one big family. So, I love Journey too. So, and ZZ Top, she's got legs. Remember that? Anyway, okay, now I've got to focus. I've got to get back on track because you all know that I am a distractible human. But I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Thank you for sharing. I have a Neil Diamond story one day to share with you guys. But I'm going to share my screen. I'm not going to look at the chat for a couple more minutes because I will focus on that the rest of the evening. So I'm going to try to get back here. But I want to say thank you. Thank you for tuning in with our Sunday success session. And we're having a boys' night tonight. So normally I let the boys hang out on Saturday, and then on Sunday it's ladies' night, right? So I get different ladies from around the nation that are having success, but I just had some gentlemen that I wanted to get on here. So we're having boys' night. And I'm not sexist. Anybody can join me on here, but we're going to do something a little bit different. But before we kick into our guests, just do some quick housekeeping. So first of all, if you're not on Telegram, if your team is not on Telegram with us, join us. So right now, I send out, well, depending on how far in advance I do it, at least 300 text messages, sometimes up to 500, just trying to get the word out to different people on the team. And sometimes I have to use an app for that, right? Because you can't quite do that just texting on your old iPhone. So I have to use an app, and it doesn't always work, and we lose people in the process, right? Like I'll have somebody message and say, I haven't gotten anything from you for a month. And I go, oh my goodness, I've been sending them almost daily. I don't know what happened. And I don't want anybody to fall through the cracks. So if you kind of want to, not kind of, if you want to know what's going on with New Age, if you want to know where the Super Saturdays are, if you want to know if there is a flash sale, if you want to know what we're selling on the shop live, that kind of stuff, join us on Telegram because we can make sure that everybody can get the information there very, very quickly. And you want your team on there as well. So go ahead and go to New Age Communication 2022, mute us out, but don't stay there. Click, that will allow you to go into customize and to turn your notifications to always on so you don't miss anything. And if for some reason you can't get Telegram and you say, Andrea, add me to that text list, well, text me and I can add you to that text list as well. So either way, but we just want to make sure that you get all of the information. Next, we have our Dare to Dream event. Guys, I hope you're registered. We're going to be talking about this a little bit with my last guest of the evening, but this event is going to be phenomenal. August 26th, 27th, 28th, corporate has put together everything from, fun activities, from exercise, from, incredible training, from great evenings. the VIP cocktail party, every aspect of it has been created for us to help us have a great time. That's probably not the number one priority, but that's going to be a good part of it, to learn everything that we need in order to move our business to the next level, for us to be able to hobnob with all of the people in New Age Nation. So if you were on the fence and you're like, I don't know if I want to spend the money or take the time or whatever, stop hesitating. Stop holding yourself back. Join us. Come with us. Go to this event. I've been involved in this beautiful industry. It'll be 11 years in September. I have never missed an event. And I promise you that many of those events have been a sacrifice. Sacrifice financially, I wasn't sure I could afford. Sacrifice with time that I didn't think I could give up. But I'll tell you, I never once regretted it. It always worked out. So please join us for that. Congratulations. I want to say congratulations to every single person that will be in the VIP room on Friday night. So many people could achieve the power of one. So proud of every single person that did. Hopefully you got a congratulations flyer. And if you didn't, message me, because I will send that information on to corporate to make sure that you are on the list, because we want to make sure that everybody that qualified for that is going to be there. So here's an opportunity to take a quick screenshot. So if you're one of those people that says, and I've said it, oh, there's all these Zooms that I'm always missing them, right? I find out 2 minutes before, or, oh my gosh, did they really do that on Thursday and I completely missed it? If you've missed some of them, take a screenshot of this and join us. These are just some of, it's not completely inclusive, but these are the ones that I know about. If there's something that you're doing and you want me to add it to the calendar, let me know, and I'm happy to modify this. But we want to make sure that you know everything that's going on throughout the week to help you grow. So we've got training, we have prospecting events, we have the live shopping, everything that we have on a pretty consistent schedule is going to be in here. So join us with that. This week, New Age Live, the guest is going to be a surprise, but we know it's going to be a great one. So Monday night at 8 p.m. Central Time, always hosted by Cameron Bott and our very own Christine McKay. These are great calls, so I highly recommend that you jump on. And this is going to be all the details that we need from corporate for the week. Plus, they interview people that are creating a stir out in the field, and we get to hear some testimonies. So if you want to build your belief, if you want to know more about your company, if you want your team to build their belief and know more about the company that they are involved with, have them jump on New Age Live. So that's Monday night. On Tuesday evening, we have a fun one. So if you are looking to grow your business, right? So you want to have people join your team, either as customers or as brand partners, you want to include them on these very special Zooms. So we have two. One is for the gentlemen and one is for the ladies. So the gentlemen are with Chris Doyle and Dave Vance. So we've got the daddies. And then we have Dr. Crystal Vance and Kristen White, which are the daughters. And so we separate this one for men and women just for privacy, because with Renew, sometimes some of the topics can move into some categories that maybe you wouldn't want to share with the opposite gender. But these are really powerful, very informational. Anyway, lots of great info. And I don't know what they do on the boys one, but I know the ladies one has some great information. So if you're looking to grow your business, get people on here with you, because Dr. Crystal and Kristen White, they put out some really great information. So, and also this is kind of a fun part of what they do on there. If you have a Renew testimony, right? So you're like, oh my gosh, I just want the world to know that Renew, I don't know, makes me feel like I'm 25 again. I don't know, whatever you want to say, right? Well, if you're on here, they give people an opportunity to raise their hand and share their testimony. And that's always so powerful. And think about it, if you had a guest on there and then you're also speaking on there, how validating that would be for the person that you've brought on. So join us on those. They're really powerful. Now, a quick update. We were supposed to have Chalk Talk this Tuesday, but Coach is going to be attending a celebration of life Tuesday morning and will not be back in time to do the Chalk Talk. So we're going to be pausing it for one more week, and we will see everybody on July 26th. And I know he already has a guest lined up. It's going to be a really, really powerful Chalk Talk. So mark your calendar. And he hates to skip it this week, but we can't wait to see you all on the 26th. So that will be powerful. And then every Thursday, hopefully you guys have been able to see these, we have back office training. So they can be found in the New Age North America Leadership Group on Facebook. It's at 11 a.m. Mountain Time, noon Central, and always really great information with the different people in our corporate office. And then lastly, we have some items in loyalty. And I'll tell you guys what I do with loyalty. I have my products that I will not miss, right? Like I'm always going to be drinking Lima Original. I am always going to have Renew because there's only 28, so I'm running out of that consistently. I've MOA is another one on there that I don't want to live without. Noni Sleep Shots is another one on there that I don't want to live without. So these are things that are consistently in my, what do we call it? Subscribe and save. But don't you always want to try something new, right? Isn't it fun to be able to check out all the different things that our company offers? So that is what I use loyalty for. So I keep my normal stuff that I'm always going to consume, but then I jump in loyalty a couple times a month and just see what's in there that I can try out. And if you guys have not, I'm going to tell you a personal favorite is in here, which is Burn. Yes, I come from the Limu tribe, so I am loyal, but I'll tell you, I had a Burn today, and I don't drink it every single day, but I do have them a lot. And whenever I do, I'm so grateful. So I'll tell you this little tip. If you are looking, like so many people in America today, if you are looking to reduce your grocery budget, I have a tip for you. Drink a Burn 30 minutes before you go to the grocery store. I promise you, you will spend less at the grocery store because you're going to go there, you're not hungry, and you're not tempted by all the beautiful junk that is staring at you on those shelves. So thank you guys for that. Hopefully this helps you with your shopping this month. And right now, I'm going to change gears really quickly, and I'm going to pull up his face on here. So Jerry, hopefully you can unmute yourself, but I have a very special gentleman jumping on here with me tonight. His name is Jerry Hawsey, and I met him, at least a couple of years ago at an event. And I loved when he was talking because he kind of shared something that was so relatable to all of us. And I've had the opportunity to hear him speak at a couple of different events. And yesterday was one of them. And so after that experience, I went, oh my goodness, I got to have him on here. I've got to have him share his story with us. So Jerry, thank you so much for jumping on here tonight. I appreciate you.
Oh, you're so welcome. Glad to be here. Hey, everybody.
Well, hi. So if you wouldn't mind, just tell all of us a little bit about Jerry Hawsey. Tell us your story, kind of how you came into the industry and what it's done for your family.
Okay, first of all, I want to say I'm a Neil Diamond fan, tried and true, and I can't get Sweet Caroline and Forever in Blue Jeans out of my head right now. So whoever mentioned that, I don't know. Yeah.
Bum, bum.
Hey, and Tracy, you and I ought to feel good. We're the guys on the girls' night. We're like Chippendales guys tonight or something. So, okay. Short bio on me. I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit. I've worked multiple different jobs before. About 13 or 14 years ago, I decided to open up. I've had 3 businesses, but I decided to open up a construction company. Started real small. Built a screened-in porch for my cousin, was the first job I did. In 2017, I started a hotel that I worked on for 2 years. It was the biggest project I've ever done in my life. Made the most money I've ever made in my life, but I had the most stress, the most sleepless nights, the most concern, the most stolen tools, the most counseling with employees. I mean, when you own your own business and you have employees, you're a marriage counselor, a loan officer, a bail bondsman. It's just all those things wrapped up into one. And so I'll back up just a little bit. I joined this company several years ago, but it was kind of the backup plan way back, if you know what I mean. Was really in it just because we were taking the products. I had a little bitty business. It was covering, the cost of all of our monthly products, and I was making a little bit. I said, I've been in this company for 9 years. I said this weekend, I've been getting a paycheck every Friday for 9 years, which is pretty good. But about a year after we finished the hotel, two things came to mind. Number one, I had probably just made the most money I'm ever going to make living in a small town. I live in a small town with 6,000 people. My zip code is 36426. And if I want to stay in that zip code, that's about the best that I could ever hope to make. And it was very taxing on me. And I decided to make some changes. I knew because of, being in RX to begin with, but now New Age, they'd been the only thing that was really secure on every Friday. Every Friday morning I could get up, pull up my back office, and there was a check, that had been direct deposited. And no headaches, no worry, no liability insurance, no stolen tools, all those things. And so knowing that if I wanted to make more money living in 36426, my zip code, I either had to expand my construction company, which I really didn't want to do. I wanted to go the other way with it, have less headaches. I didn't have another option other than to take what I was doing that was paying me residually and apply a little more throttle to it. I tell everybody, I kind of eased off the throttle on my construction company and I pressed a little harder on my New Age business. And somewhere in about this time, I met Kim Gray, and we'll talk about that in just a few minutes. But long story short, I began to see that residual income increase a little bit, and then increase a little bit, and then increase a little bit. And I was doing it all with no liability whatsoever. And again, being a business owner and having multiple different businesses throughout my life, I thought, man, this just rang home to me. This is a better business model. Not saying that there's anything wrong with traditional business, because you can go make a lot of money. But if you have a lot of employees working for you, you're going to have a lot of problems that go along with it. And I just didn't want those problems. I mean, 55 years old and had teenagers that I wanted to spend more time with, and I did adults that act like teenagers at work. So that's kind of what happened. I did shut my construction company down last year. I do some other things. I have some other businesses where I just work for myself, but I've been able to, on my own time, on my own turf, grow my New Age business to a point where, and it's what I said this weekend, I'm not making, $500,000 a year. I'm paying 100% of my daughter's college, the car payment, all her groceries. We still bankroll enough to take a decent vacation every year. And that's a pretty good little side gig. I made a transition in my life recently where I knew I was kind of going to go paycheckless, so to speak, for a little bit. And it was really, really nice to have that income coming in every Friday. It made the decision for me be able to make that transition so much easier because I could bank on that money coming in. So, that's me. I love this company. I love the products. I love the fact that you can build something here again at your own pace. It levels the playing field for everybody. You don't have to be great to do this. You just really need to be consistent and stick with it. So that's my story.
I love your story. And especially, college is not cheap these days.
No.
And so that is a sizable chunk of change. And I know there's so many people that would make it be life changing. And so that's kind of, so that's where we and even if nothing else, I think to be able to start your daughter off on her journey of adulthood debt free. How many kids these days start their life behind the 8 ball because they have, or I think about Dr. Crystal, where she says she got out of school with like $300,000 worth of debt. It takes a long time, regardless of what you're making, to pay off that kind of debt. So to be able to start your daughter off like that without harming your family in the process, some people dip into their retirement, they do different things to provide for their kids. but then they could harm themselves later on. So I love
That's
that
so
part of
true.
your story.
Yeah. Hey, real
Love
quick.
that.
We didn't do there's in Alabama, there's a thing called the 529 program where you could put a little money in over the course of so many years and it builds a fund for your children's college education. When we should have been doing that, I told you guys I've had 3 business. One failed miserably. It cost my wife and I everything. And so there was that time frame in our life when we could have been investing. We were rebuilding. We lost everything, home, cars, the whole 9 yards. And so an additional note to that, my new age business cannot bankrupt me. There's no way. If I shut it down, no matter what happens, that business cannot bankrupt me. And so that's another safe bet, so to speak, on this industry. I just love it. So anyhow, building the residual income made up for the past where I couldn't, invest in those programs that were available to us. So it's a win-win.
Yes, that is powerful. That's powerful. So speaking of powerful, talk to me a little bit about the power of our comp plan and what you've personally seen.
So it's the only, I've only been in a couple of network marketing companies in my life, but this is the one company with the one comp plan where one person can change your life. 2 people would be great on opposite legs. Everybody on here, I think, is probably a rep and understands the comp plan. But you can put one person in this business, and because of one area of pay called match pay, you can build a residual, by the way, match pay is the most stable part of our income. When you start getting paid on your 4th, 5th, and maybe even your 6th level and match pay, those little bitty paychecks that may be down there where people are just getting started, when you're overriding those paychecks just because you made an investment early on, really begin to make a difference. And they compound as this business grows. Yeah, people come in, they leave, but enough stick in this industry and it begins to make a difference. And so that one person for me was Kim Gray. Everybody pretty much knows Kim Gray. I said it this weekend, and if she were there this weekend, she would have admitted to what I said. I would have bet you my pickup truck that Kim Gray was not going to do this business. I gave her some products because she really didn't have the money. It was right at Christmas, and I gave her the product because she wouldn't have bought it. And I stuck to her like glue for the first month or 2, and I was trying to build a story with her. I didn't mention it this weekend, but one of the things I said to Kim, because she has muscular dystrophy, one of the things I knew was she really hated the fact that she couldn't get down and play with her grandchild like she wanted to. And I promised her that she'd stick with me and she'd do what I said and take these products. It'd change her life to a point where she could enjoy the time with her grandson more. And that was the biggest reason that she did it. And staying on her, that first month or 2. And she caught the vision. She really did. And it can happen to anybody, and I said, again, that you heard me say it this weekend, I was not out recruiting when this took place. All I was doing was sharing with somebody in a bank. I went in to make a deposit, and in my little hometown, I was known, I'm a construction owner, but I was also known as the weight loss guy. I pushed more slenderized drops than all you guys have together in 9 years, probably. But a lady was asking me about that product in the bank, and the teller overheard me telling the story. So all I was doing was just sharing. That's it. And the teller happened to be Kim Gray's daughter. And so I made her a promise. Yeah, I got to meet her mom. Met her on a Sunday night. Kim hated me that night. Didn't want to be there. And I really didn't want to be there because I thought it was a waste of my time. But hey, the comp plan speaks a different story now because of that night.
Oh, well, and that's a great lesson for all of us, that we don't have to actively, sometimes we think, oh, I have to put on my recruiting hat. And, when my recruiting hat isn't on, then my business is closed and I'm not going to talk about it. But we actually can, crazy enough, we can talk about what we do in really any situation, and somebody could hear, and we could change not only their life, but our life in the process. So you mentioned the Super Saturday a couple times. So I've got one more question for you, and
Okay.
that would be your takeaway from yesterday.
Takeaway. So when you show up at these Super Saturdays, typically it's more people that are already in the business and guests, and that's fine. Don't look at it as, oh, I got to drag people to this thing so I can get them in front of Todd or whoever, or Brent, and get them signed into the business. These are really for us. And what I love about it is there was 21, 22, 20. I didn't take count. There's, just around 25 people there, but it's 25 like-minded people that were there sharing a positive message. And so when that takes place, there's a positive energy that's in the room. And the takeaway from that is we get to get the positive energy for free just because we showed up. And so that's so important because, listen, life happens to everybody every day. And you can have that bad week or off week or one of those, I hate saying this, oh my God, all bad things happen in 3, and it always seems to happen, a certain, the dryer breaks, the car has a flat, whatever. Show up at a Super Saturday. It may change your life. It'll change your attitude for a little while anyhow. So, and sometimes that's enough. It really is. That's enough. So I think that's probably, and the other thing is, if you go to enough of these and you get on enough Zooms, you think, well, it's going to be the same old story. And sometimes it is, but sometimes it's told in a different way. And you get a nugget that you didn't get the first time. Or maybe you're listening better this time, or paying attention more, or need something. And so it's the stories. And Tammy Melchizedek says this, and I love this. She says, people need to see themselves in your story. And that's what can take place at these Super Saturdays. You get up, you tell your stories. You just no different than I did tonight. I'm not scripted or anything. I just tell what the truth is. And that's my story. And if everybody can come up with a simple little story like that, try to be consistent and do it to where you achieve some success is all you got to do to start with. And you just build from there. And the company will reward you every Friday.
Every Friday. Well,
at least for 9.5 years, I know. So
how many checks did you say the other day?
I said wrong. I think I said 900. I meant to say 9 years worth of checks, and I said 900. 490 some odd checks that I've gotten. None of them bounced. And one thing I love to say, there's been so many times in 9.5 years that I couldn't focus on my new age business. I mean, I literally, whether it was family or business or sickness, I had a car wreck that took me out for 6 months. I still got a check. And I never got a phone call from Fred or Mark or Cameron and said, hey, dude, man, hadn't seen you out there on the front lines. If you want to keep getting a check, you got to do something. That's not the way it is. If you build it, you'll get paid. So that's nothing else. No other industry offers that perk, by the way.
No, I don't know anything else that does. So that's awesome. Congratulations on all of your success, Jerry. Thank you so much for being on here with us tonight. I appreciate you. And we're going to switch gears. So thank you so much, Jerry. Appreciate it. Okay, and now we have another gentleman. So next we're going to bring on Mr. Tracy Ternberg. And I had the privilege of meeting Tracy, I guess, maybe even over a year ago in Destin. And, before everything was we didn't have maybe all the Noni tribe, or maybe it was just starting, and really great spending time with him then. And I've loved to get to know him over this time, spend some time in Costa Rica with him and his daughter. So it's definitely been a treat. So Tracy, thank you so much for jumping on here with us tonight.
Thanks for having me, Andrea. Fantastic to be here. Could you find a worse picture of me to put up on that screen?
Well, I'm sure I could, Tracy. Is that a challenge?
Also, challenge accepted, right? Oh, it was Destin in February, a year and a half ago, that we first met face to face.
Okay, well, I knew you'd know because you're really great at details. I'm probably not as good at details. I thought it was a great picture. So if you want a different picture for future flyers, you got to send me a different photo. Because I'll tell you, just so everybody knows, you get stalked on Facebook. So if you are a guest on our Zooms here, I stalk you on Facebook and I steal one of your pictures. So I figure if you post it, you must like it. But I
True.
guess not. And so you really are confidence monitor. What is that?
It's just so I can see. It's my camera's behind the teleprompter screen, so I can see the Zoom and camera at the same time.
Okay, well, that you almost got kicked off. Like so I'm glad that you laughed because otherwise I would have been like, okay, guys,
I was trying to text you.
Oh, well, you might have, but I didn't see it. Well, thank you for that. So, guys, if you don't know Tracy, one of the things that I love about his story is that I think we're roughly the same age. And in that time, I've had 47 jobs, and Tracy has had pretty much one. Is that true? Like your lifetime experience comes in network marketing. Is that correct? Business experience.
I joined network marketing when I was 20 years old, and this is what I've done for my sole source of income since then. And so I was going to college, and I was going to be like Dr. Crystal. My story starts with I was going to undergrad in Eau Claire here for my biology degree. I was going to transfer up to go to chiropractic college because I wanted to help people. That's been my passion. I wanted to help people. And there was a period of time there when I'm like, network marketing is like, let's face it, when you're 20 years old and you're selling nutritional supplements, you're thinking, why am I doing this? Because I'm young and I don't need them because nothing hurts and you're not sick. But I wanted to be a chiropractor. I wanted a good career. And I went to an event my very first event, and it was amazing because I'm like with all these old people though now that are our age, right? And I'm around these old people, and there was all these chiropractors. Our company is a previous company. I've only been in 2 network marketing companies my entire life, in 29 years, but we had this huge group of of chiropractors. And I asked one of these chiropractors, I'm like, I want to get where you're at. And he was the largest clinic owner in Dallas, Texas. Well, you just imagine that's a big area to be the largest clinic. And he just went off on why you wouldn't want to do the clinic stuff, insurance and all this stuff, and coming out of school with debt like Dr. Crystal and all these things. And I'm like, but I'm sitting perfectly positioned where you are trying to get, because he was leaving his practices coming into network marketing. And I was positioned here, and I'm like, why am I trying to go there? And it was at that event, because that conversation like Jerry was talking about, that, man, you hear stories and you have to see yourself in that situation. And for the first time, even though my mentor at the time was like crazy successful, I still couldn't see it. It was weird. And this conversation with this chiropractor kind of totally changed my mind. Like, I really need to rethink this. And that happened at that event. And I came back and I graduated school. I went through, got my biology degree, started taking grad level classes and all this stuff, knowing I was never going to use it, but I needed to graduate. I started, went full time, and it's all I've done since then is network marketing.
Well, I love that. And I think about, I didn't find network marketing until I was 35. And imagine I was so dang shy at 20. I don't think I would have done anything for the first 20 years. But if I could have, like, wow, would that not have changed the trajectory of our life even sooner? So that's a gift to your entire family to have had them be raised in network marketing. So I love that so much. And, with that, by having a lot of success throughout the years, you've really lived a life that most people can't quite imagine. And kind of what Jerry was talking about too, about that check that just every Friday, whether he, had a bad week in real life or wasn't working, he was able to cash a check. So with that, what has it been like for the Ternberg family to live off a residual income for as long as you have?
Oh, it's one of those things that it's hard to put into words because you almost don't believe it. When you look back over that period of time, 29 years. Now, I don't want to confuse anything here. That listen, I treated this like a business. I worked it like a professional. It wasn't a hobby. It was something that we did, especially when we started with Noni. It'll be 20 years ago in September. We worked eight to faint. I mean, like we were flat out building our businesses, and so it has paid us like a business. But because of that, we've been able to experience things. And one of the things I take personal pride in, and it's a top priority for me, is spending time with my kids, and letting them see things that when I was a kid, we never traveled. We went camping locally here in Wisconsin, never really traveled. And for me to be able to share that with my kids and so they can see parts of the world that are just incredibly beautiful and different has a lot of value to me. And I wouldn't be able to take a week to go to Costa Rica to do an event if I was working a typical job, because you don't have that much vacation time. And so being able to travel like that has been absolutely incredible. And one of the biggest things with residual income that's really hit me was 6 years ago. My mentor, who was my uncle, went into the hospital, and he had open heart surgery, and it just turned into 90 days of hospitalization. And he ended up passing away August 19th in 2016. And I was able to be there in every doctor's meeting. I would see him in the morning. I'd see him sometimes in the afternoon, see him in the evening before I'd go home and check in and see what everything was going on, and if there was anything I could do or who I had to talk to. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without the flexibility of network marketing to be able to say, "Oh, I'm gone. There's a doctor's appointment tomorrow." And so for me, it's not so much about the money as it is about the time freedom. That the money is allowing you to pay bills, like Jerry said. It allows you to do things that are so different. You don't have to worry about the check or punching the clock because it's residual income. It comes in. Now, maybe it's going to decline or it doesn't come in. It doesn't grow because you're not putting effort in yourself, but you have that stable residual check. If you build it on a product-based company, and that's what's so powerful about having unique, exclusive, incredible products that people are going to buy on a weekly and monthly basis. And so for me, I'd say that ability to have that 90-day window of being able to be there was something I didn't really realize it at the time. But looking back now, reflectively on that 90 days, it's something I could never replace and or put value on, because it was something that it was very special to me to have that. 'Cause my mentor was he was my best friend. He died at 81 years old, but he was an uncle. He was my best friend. He was my mentor. He's my hero. And so for me to be there was very important. And I'm just very blessed to have a network marketing career that allowed me to be able to do that.
Well, got me in. Okay. So I got emotional there for a second, because you picture, right? Do not put yourself in those shoes, where I think about if my best friend, heaven forbid, something was to happen, would we not all want the gift of being able to 100% be there for them, right? Don't we just want to be there for our people? And really the only thing that I would see that ever holds us back is obligations, right? So, it could be a job obligation. Maybe it's our kids, different things that we'd have to accommodate. But to take the finances out, right? To say, I can afford to 100% plug in and be there for the doctor's appointments, and be there for the conversations, and be there for the emotional support, just be there when somebody needs us. I mean, that's priceless. That's absolutely priceless. So that is a true true gift. And I talk, we've heard before, you know, kind of the flip side. As your mentor, I'm sure that he was financially okay. But the other part of it is that to be in a position where if somebody needs us financially, right? So they need our time, or they're in a position, like I have a girlfriend right now with her sister-in-law, and she needs a pretty hefty treatment. They don't have the, you know, unfortunately with, you know, our medical system, it's going to cost just shy of $40,000. And they are pulling a second out on their home to attempt this treatment. And all she wants, right, is to be able to help their family financially, but she's not in a position to help them financially. So her sister-in-law is stressed because she's dealing with this health stuff. Her brother-in-law is stressed because he's pulling out this mortgage, and they've got 2 kids, and you know, their whole life is an uproar. Where if we can dig our well, not only can it help us when we're thirsty, but when the people around us are thirsty. So anyway, okay, let me get back on track because you got me all emotional there. I have to cry like every Sunday. So guys, if you want to see somebody cry, like tune in every week because it's going to happen. I can't help it. It's who I am. So, okay, so we're going to get on track a little bit. I'm going to get out of there. So talk to us, you know, everybody on here, let's pretend that it's 50-50, right? They're sitting on the fence and they can't decide whether or not they should join us in Orlando. So other than for our sparkling personalities, and guys, if you want to talk to somebody witty, talk to Tracy because he's witty. He's going to come up with some kind of joke, something that he's going to probably have to tell me twice because I'm like, I don't get it. And then he will fill me in. So it's great. But other than that, for our witty personalities, why should people be in Orlando with us?
Well, you know, if you look at everybody's stories, now if you're 50-50 and you're maybe it's a financial reason you can't afford to go, maybe you're not sure if you need to go, but if you go back to every leadership person in this company, they can go back to a particular event that flipped the switch in them. That it could be a super Saturday, it could be a big regional event like Dare to Dream, but there's always an event that something happened. They heard a speaker, they met somebody, they meet a Jerry, they meet an Andrea, they meet a Brent Palmer, they meet somebody that's like, I want to be like them. If they could do it, I can do it. Everything's right there. And so it's not just about product launches or corporate strategies and that kind of stuff. It's literally about meeting people. And I know Zooming is great. I was at your Super Saturday. I watched the whole thing on Zoom. I didn't get any conversations out of that. I didn't have any side conversations. I know Jerry was there and Andrea and Brent and Todd and Chris. And that was it. I don't know who else was there because it was, Jacksons were there. But if they weren't on screen, I had no idea that they were there. And so you get to have these conversations and you meet people and you take pictures and you get a picture with Tracy and Andrea, and you go talk to somebody that is just like us back home. And you're like, you remind me of this guy named Tracy who I met in Orlando, and this is his story. And then you create that connection. So it helps you recruit, it helps you build, helps you do so many things. And so getting to that event is a life-changing, a business-changing thing for yourself. If you think of it as a financial obligation, it is. There's an investment into it. I was sitting there when I was telling my story. I totally it popped into my head. I had never read a book. I'm saying a book in my life before I went to that first event.
Wow.
Not a novel, I hated reading. And at that event, they started talking about it, said readers are leaders and leaders are readers. And I'm like, wait a minute, if I want to be a leader, apparently I got to start reading. And I became this person that just loves to read books. And now I just love to listen to them. I can go out and I can multitask, I can do things. I still love paperback. There's something about the feel of it and digesting it via, printed that's better than just listening to it. And you learn things that are just the intangibles in your business happen at events. Now, this particular event in Orlando, I think is the most pivotal event that I'm ever going to be a part of. And I will happily say I have been to 29 conventions in my life, yearly conventions. I have not missed one. It's been that important. And then a bunch of regionals and everything else. I truly believe that this will be the most pivotal event for what's coming out in Orlando. And I can't get into a lot of details on that. But what I can tell you is I joined Noni in 2002. Noni started in 1996, and Ann Wilson, I think, is on here. She's one of the original OG people that started day one with Noni. I missed the 6 years of what's called hyper growth. That's where it just went like this, straight up. It was crazy growth. I missed it with Noni. We joined 6 years after the fact. And I truly believe right now that we are in this position where we are poised for this hyper growth. And I think what's going to happen at Orlando is going to launch us in that hyper growth. Now, can you catch up if you're not there? Absolutely. I mean, you're not going to be left out if you're not there. Will you have an advantage if you're there? Absolutely. You will be able to walk away from Orlando and you're going to be able to implement things on the plane ride home that is going to help start building your business. And I think that is the biggest reason to be in Orlando. I know Deanna and Mark Wilson and Cameron Bott and Christy McKay are all crazy excited about what they're launching in Orlando. And I think there's a very good reason to be excited about it. And it all has to do with this crazy product called Renew.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm so curious. Like, that's the thing that drives me nuts. Like, it's July 17th. We have what, a month and 9 days or something crazy until we go there. I'm like, how are we supposed to sleep for the next month and 9 days with teasers like that? I guess we'll just have to be patient, but that's not a strong suit that I have.
No, don't sleep. Don't sleep. I mean, this is not the time to pause and say, I can't wait for Orlando so I can hear what they're talking about so I can move. That is not this. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you need to line up your team. You need to go out and build. If I were you right now, I would buy Renew. And you could break it up into the little sticks, little 5-packs, start selling samples of it. Everything we're launching is going to be Renew based. And I'm telling you, I'm excited. I have never been this excited about anything that we've ever done because it's the simplicity of it. We are going to be stacking up wins. Brent's always talking about stacking up wins, right? And we're going to be stacking up wins. We're going to get people are going to be getting paid quickly, getting paid a lot of money. And I'm telling you, in the first 7 days of being in business, if you brought a brand new person in, if they recouped all of their money and made profit in their first 7 days, would that excite you? And I think the answer is absolutely yes, right? And it is going to be so simple and so duplicatable. It's just going to be amazing. And you're going to be able to walk away from Orlando with all of that in hand. But right now, and here's the thing, people go like, well, okay, I'll wait. No, don't wait. Let me ask you this, Andrew. You got a large group. And let's say you have 100 people in Orlando. And those 100 people leave Orlando and they impact 10 people each. Okay, so they impact 10 people each. That's 1,000 stories being told in your business in the first 7 days after Orlando. Imagine what's going to happen to your business if 1,000 stories, 1,000 introductions to what we do and how we do it happens in the first 7 days after Orlando. It's going to absolutely blow your mind. Now think of someone large like Brent Palmer that might have 500 people in Orlando and then hundreds online. It's going to be it could be absolutely mind-blowing for what could happen. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't have 100 people, I only have 2 people coming. Well, try to get 4 people to come. Try to get 6 people to come. The more soldiers you have on your team coming out of Orlando, the better off you're going to be. The faster you're going to be able to grow, the more you're going to be able to accomplish coming out of Orlando.
Okay, so that I've got a question for you, and we'll close with this, but take your time. So, and you kind of touched on it, but maybe it's just me. Like, let's pretend I don't have a team. Okay, well, we could do both sides. I have a huge team, I have a medium team, I have no team. Either way, what would you suggest that we do if I want to springboard my business? If I want to launch, get things moving now so that I position myself the best in Orlando, what would you tell me to do for the next 39 days?
This is what, if I were you, this is what I would do. Okay. If you and I are sitting at a coffee table and we're talking and you're saying, okay, now I just joined, what do I do? I would order up Renew. I would order up Renew and I would break it down and I would put it in what's has been crazy successful, which has been the 5-day trials. I would break up into 5 of these. We live in this world where people love to get paid right away. Right? People are getting paid instantly. And if they don't get paid right away, they don't want to do the work. And nobody likes to wait a month anymore. Comp plans that don't pay you for a month, they only pay you monthly, are going out of, they're dying because people want to be paid every week or on the spot. If you take these 5 sticks of Renew, and right now we're having huge success with this, people that Dr. Crystal's killing it. I think she was on last week. Allison was on last week. Allison's killing it on TikTok, selling 5-day trials. And you're going to be moving this product. You're setting yourself up for an introduction into what's coming in Orlando. That is putting cash back in your pocket. That is allowing you to generate new contacts, new leads, new customers, and new brand partners that are going to be accustomed to what we're going to launch in Orlando. And so for right now, what I would do is, if you're not a TikTok, you're not a social media person, Andrea, everyone go stalk Andrea's page, because Andrea, you've done this really well. Dr. Crystal's done it really well of being able to just gently put it out there for the 5-day trials and letting people try it. And I think this is the most dynamic product that I've ever had my hands on. And I've been a Tisha Noni lover and a diehard for 20 years. And this product here is the most dynamic. Why? Because it works so fast. People get better sleep virtually the first night. And so if I were you, that's what I would do. I would call up, I'd get a bunch of Renew, and I'd break it up, and I start getting some 5-day trials out, because you're going to start the ecosystem that is going to be made more clear, easier, faster. Everything that we're working on in the scenes, behind the scenes for everybody.
Well, I love that. And so it sounds like, so last week, Coach gave us all a challenge to go do our 5-day trials. He's like, if you have not tried it, try it, right? Don't knock it until you've tried it. And so guys, I'm going to give the same challenge. If you haven't yet, and we're going to say this challenge came directly from Tracy, if you haven't done a 5-day trial yet, go do it. Go try it. And how do you start that? You just start by piquing people's interest, right? So I have done this. I think I've done it 4 times where I do a reel, and it is the stupidest thing you will ever see. Like, literally, like the first one, I had my little mason jar. It's got a little bit of water in it. I'm filming it. I do it in fast forward, whatever that's called. Time lapse, I don't know, but I do it faster. I speed it up. I pour the Renew packet into the mason jar. I stir it with a spoon. And that is it, right? And then eventually I got the little like vroom vroom, the frother thing, and I did it with that. I make just like 4 little comments on it in this reel. It's bonkers the number of messages I get from people. Bonkers. Like really, it's stupid, actually. Not a lot of comments on the actual thing, not a lot of likes on the actual thing. Like, yep, that is the ridiculousness right there. Like it's so crazy. That's funny. Good job, Tracy. You're really skilled at that. This little thing right here, where this video, like I've put this video up at least 3 times, but I made it just one time. And people will literally message me saying, what is it? How is it making you less grumpy? What is it? Like, where do I get it? And I'm like, oh, I'll hook you up. And that's all. I'll hook you up. And I give them the details. It's $25, $5 if they're not local, to ship it. And I'm just piquing their interest. So do something silly. Maybe it doesn't have to be that bad. You can be more creative. I don't know. Or just do something that silly. Pique some interest. Melissa Jackson's phenomenal at this. She puts some great information out there. Ashley Paulson is another one that I stalk and try to copy her, but she's cuter. Like she does cuter stuff, a little bit higher skill set than I have. But go find what works for you and throw it out in social media. And if you're not a social media person, well, go open your mouth, right? Like throw them in your car. I know Buffy Wallen is fantastic at this, that she just carries it with her and she talks to people. Right? Like she actually, that's a little crazy for somebody like me, but she opens her mouth and talks to other humans and says, oh my gosh, I'm feeling better. You might want to feel better too. And I will say this is one thing that I put into every conversation because we don't want to bait and switch people, right? And I'll tell you, I love customers. I want a million of them. But you know what I love? Maybe a little bit more. I love brand partners because I want people to work with. So I always add just the 2% more. So I will say something like, oh my gosh, you will not believe how this is going to make you feel. You will feel phenomenal. And think about the people in your life. So many people want to sleep better. There is so much money to be made with this. You are going to love it. You're going to sleep great tonight. Can't wait to hear about your dreams. And then I move on. But I just add that sentence, that little tiny 2% that they know that there is money to be made. And I do that with intention because I think of myself 11 years ago when I found this industry. And you guys all have heard my story. I won't bore you, but I was stupid broke. And if you had called to tell me or to sell me Limu Original, I would have said, I can't afford Limu Original. Like, sounds great. Want my son to have it. Cannot afford it. My daughter too, but at the time my son was having some health issues. I couldn't afford it. But what they told me was, this is something that could help your family feel better, right? They knew some issues. They can help you with that, but also could really bring in a paycheck. And my ears lit up with the paycheck. The health, you kind of worry about that later. The paycheck I was worried about right there. So if you can drop that hint, it can definitely help. So we're out. Tracy, do you have anything you want to close us out with? I got chatty there. Sorry.
No. I mean, everything you said was spot on. For Jerry and myself, I want to thank you, Andrea, for being the servant leader that you are. It is absolutely fantastic how you connect and keep people connected to everything and informed and on schedule in what you do. And you did a phenomenal job Saturday in that Super Saturday. So happy to call you a friend. And anytime I can do anything to help, please don't hesitate to call Jerry.
All right. Well, thank you, Tracy. And thank you, Jerry. You guys were amazing. Thank you for being the gentleman of the call tonight. I'll appreciate that. I have to do boys' night more often. So this was really fun. And I hope everybody has a phenomenal week. I hope we all go get our 5-day trials out there. Do something silly on your reel. Feel free to share it in New Age Nation or text all of us and say, hey, go love on my post, because we will. We want to support everybody. And we hope everybody has a great week, and we'll see you all week on the Coaches Corner. So thank you, Jerry. Thank you, Tracy. Thank you, everyone, and have a phenomenal night. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
Blessings.
Bye.